At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Local people. Local news and events. Local sports. Local matters. For all things Lloydminster area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Hey, welcome to Lloydminster Exhibition, the new Lloydminster Nissan Exhibition Grill. We remind you that the new Lloydminster Nissan is now open on Highway 17 South in our brand new location. And we also want to let you know that there's construction going on at the new Lloydminster Nissan today and likely all this week and early next week. But we're open and there are two entrances. So if the front entrance is not open, you can drive in through Denham Chrysler Jeep and come in and see us at the new Lloydminster Nissan. And everybody knows the end of the month is the best time to come in and buy a vehicle. So get into the new Lloydminster Nissan through either entrance, the front or the side through Denham, and come see us today, especially if you're looking for a great deal, because right now 2023s are being blown out like Armadas at $5,000 off the 2023 models. And a 2023 Rogue at up to $2,000 below cost, and on a 2023 Cash Guy, $1,700 below cost. So some tremendous deals right now at the new Lloydminster Nissan. Well, this afternoon, I guess it's later this morning, we'll be heading out to deliver another great meal to a local farmer. That'll be later this afternoon, heading just north of Waseca to deliver our final meal of the spring in our Feed the Farmer contest with Sobeys in Lloydminster, Richardson Pioneer, BASF and Invigor, the Tent Guys, Superior Water, Eggland, and Diamond 7 Meats. Of course, we'll have that fantastic, delicious roast beef. We're taking it out to see Jose Mendez and Crystal Holt today, and there's also going to be two draws early next week for two $500 Diamond 7 Meats gift cards. So this is the last Thursday, and last Thursday we were heading out to see Mark and Marty Hines, and it was so cold. We were out north of Marwayne, and it rained and it was cold. Week before that, we were out at Lindsay's, and it was cold. It was really, really cold. And we kicked it off by seeing Wrights, Daryl and Lori, and it was very cold. So we're consistent. Each Thursday it has been cold. It maybe hasn't rained every Thursday, but it's been very, very chilly. Jill Kelly is here. She's going to talk to us today about the Women in Business event. This is the inaugural Women in Business event that comes up next Tuesday. So we've got the details on that. Superior Water is proud to provide you with the purest drinking water possible, and I drink it because I like the taste. I believe it is Superior Water. It's the best water in Lloydminster, just $3 a jug. You get a great consistent taste. And don't forget, ice for the Crown Royal all summer is just $2 a bag. Two locations in Lloydminster, right beside Sheepskin Loft on 57th Avenue, and they have a coin-operated location that is right over by 7-Eleven on Highway 17 South. At Superior Water, water treatment is what they do, and they do it well. Another Chase the Ace draw here at the exhibition last night. The jackpot was not won, so the ace was not drawn. The deck is at 44 cards. The jackpot starts at just over $35,000. Tickets start at just $10. Go to lloydx.com to get all the details, and you can bundle your tickets and get a better chance to win as well. BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and they'll help you get your life back. What does that mean? Well, they're going to take care of your property. They're going to take care of your belongings, but they're really also going to be there for you to take care of your family. Now, your family is what comes first, and keeping you up to date along the way is very, very important to BioClean Disaster Services. So what they mean when they say they'll help you get your life back is you will miss when your home is devastated or your business devastated by fire, flood, or disaster. You'll miss those everyday mundane things that you had wished for before, well, now they're going to get you back to that as soon as possible. BioClean Disaster Services at 1-833-246-8326. Spring into Marshall is this Saturday, and that event features everything from food to bouncy castles to a car show and a dance. Berna Huber with the Spring into Marshall Committee told us why this group decided to plant a community garden 3 years ago.
Okay, well, we started a vision to have a community garden in our community where everybody can come out and work together and produce a bunch of food, and we're hoping to get fruit trees and bushes, more of them, and so people can just come down and help themselves, and it's part of all of us.
There's a few farmers markets around town today, one at the Service Sports Center, one in the Rona parking lot, but there's also a third one. There's a farmers market today at Holy Rosary High School, and this market features all kinds of student-run businesses. It starts at 3:30, and everyone is invited to come out. Now, they're saying to the public, if you want to come out a little bit later, it might be best to let the students walk through the farmers market, then after they're gone, about 4 o'clock, come into the farmers market. And Liliana Gordon and Jada Hill told us why supporting students and shopping local is so important.
I've learned that there are many creative people at this school, and some of these people can go quite far with the things that they make.
What goes into planning something like this? Where do you get started?
I think the most important part of starting all of this is just having great people who are creative and are willing to, kind of put themselves out there and sell some of the products and things that they're passionate about.
Lee Park Pro Rodeo is next weekend. I was kind of joking around with Rick Ozak and Lloyd Gray the other day saying, we always expect rain that weekend. We don't need any more rain. We need the sunshine now. And they were saying, hey, the last 3 years, it's been really nice at Lee Park Pro Rodeo. Well, it kicks off Wednesday with a street festival in Marwayne. Thursday is VIP night, and then things really get going on Friday. Rick and Lloyd told us that the rodeo will be on the Cowboy Channel again this year, but you're, of course, welcome to come out and camp and see firsthand why Lee Park is the best place in the world to watch a rodeo.
The service lots are full. You can still get in and camp. There's lots of room just to pull in and day camping. Or
we can handle as many campers as want to come. We'll find a spot to put you. You just won't have power and service, but Lee Park Rodeo weekend, you're not going to sit in your camper anyway. You're going to be out enjoying what we're doing.
Labus is still looking for golfers for their golf tournament just 1 week from today. It's a huge fundraiser for the Lloydminster Area Brain Injury Society, and they're looking to fill about 22 spots. Shania Brothwell took us through the basics of the tournament.
Yeah, it's at Rolling Greens. It costs $150 per person, and it includes a steak supper, lots of prizes, giveaways, 50-50, and we have a silent auction as well, and your golf cart is included in that. We have our registration starting at 1 o'clock, and then a shotgun start at 2 o'clock, and we're playing Texas Scramble.
New Lloydminster Nissan is offering 2 fully paid scholarships for the 2024-2025 Limitless Athletics Cheer season. Go to NissanLloydminster.com. You can get all the details on how to apply. It's open to new and existing students. Applications close on June the 10th. We've been asked to pass along that a GoFundMe has been set up for the family of Nick Scott to cover funeral arrangements and a grieving period. Nick was just 19 years old when he passed away earlier this week. He passed away on Tuesday, an event I'm sure you're probably familiar with. And GoFundMe will be set up and running to help raise $20,000 for Nick's family to cover those funeral arrangements. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Jill Kelly is going to tell us all about the Women in Business event next Tuesday upstairs at the Centennial Civic Center.
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
It's more than just taxes at L&A CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at L&A CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. L&A CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
Well, our next broadcast, looking ahead here already, is at Wellings of Lloydminster on Saturday when they have an open house and a community barbecue. Wellings of Lloydminster is located over by the new Petro-Canada and 7-Eleven, and what they offer is gorgeous villas for those 55 and over. So if you haven't taken a tour yet, Saturday would be the perfect day to take a tour. These are 1 or 2 bedroom villas that are perfect for anybody looking for more freedom, or if you're worried about your health, if you're starting to, have trouble shoveling or, cutting the grass, but you're still living your independent life. Well, that's what Wellings of Lloydminster is perfect for. And these villas are absolutely gorgeous. In-floor heating, your own appliances, of course. Yeah, you're cooking your own meals. You can have a pet if you want as well. Air conditioning in the summer. And they're building a really nice community center there as well. So it will be a nice family kind of community in that you will know your neighbors. But if you haven't walked through, Saturday would be a great day to do so. If you want to take a private tour, you can call Darlene and do that too. 780-872-8537. But we'll see you there on Saturday at that barbecue on a Saturday morning at Wellings of Lloydminster. I think we're going to be broadcasting from one of their garages. I was really impressed with their garages and how deep they were. All right, let's get into the Women in Business event with Jill Kelly. Thanks for being here, Jill.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's talk about what is the Women in Business event.
It is going to be so fun. I'm looking forward to it, both from a professional networking, learning piece, but also from that social aspect. And if you're on the fence about it, we have mimosas, so let that just come. Yeah.
When you were looking at doing this, what did you want to do with a business and women event to make it stand out?
Well, so there's a lot of opportunity, I think, in the business world for people to get involved. And there's a few different inspiring women conferences that Red Bicycle has always championed and been a part of, and we will continue to do that. We wanted to do something a little bit smaller, so it's only a half day, not a full day. And we wanted to be kind of quick and social, and we just thought that this was a great time to do it. The best part about it is, for me, the timing of it, because it's the beginning of June. It's June 4th, so on Tuesday, and the Chamber Awards open up for nominations right away there, so we can all get together, meet a bunch of fabulous business owners, nominate them, and just really help circle it back. And so I've always believed in the concept of sending the elevator back down mentality, where as as you rise, you help the person below you rise up too, and the person above you helps you rise, kind of thing. And so we want to do that with this event. So we've got a lot jam-packed in there. We have a couple of presentations. The presentations themselves are like 10, 15 minutes long. They're quick. Here's your meat and potatoes type thing. And we have a great speaker with Mindy Hawthorne, who is from Bricks and Shoes, and she has a great inspiring story. And I don't want to spill it all because I'm just so excited for it, but it will be truly inspirational. And mimosas. And we're having a bunch of like coffee from the Red Brick Cafe, which is a woman-owned business in Vermilion. We're having Rolling Greens, do some special little catering with Heather from Rolling Greens. And we've got a bunch of small businesses from around the community who have donated items into our curated gift bags, which are all women-owned businesses. And so it's just saying, like, look at all of the women-owned businesses. If she can do it, you can do it, and let's get in business.
Well, I'm glad you said the presentations are going to be 10 to 15 minutes, because when I looked at all of your guest speakers, and actually it was Heather who said, well, it's a half a day. I was like, that's half a, like, you got a lot of guest
Bang,
speakers.
bang, bang, yeah, we do.
But it kind of kicks off with a panel. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the panel discussion is with the winners of, or I should say winners, we're all winners, with the award recipients for the Businesswoman of the Year Award, which is an award that we partnered with the Chamber to bring to Lloydminster. So it's been 2 years now. So last year, Violet Eyes Optometry won, and the year before that, Can Do won. So Lindsay from Can Do and 2 out of the 3 doctors from Violet Eyes, Christy Mush-Teller and Danielle, are going to come and be on the panel along with Brandy Hofer. And she's an incredible artist, as you know, and she was a finalist for the award. And what I really like about those women and their different dynamics is they're all women in business. They're all at the, I don't want to say the height of their game, because, they can keep going, obviously, but they're all very successful, but they have completely different lives, and they can talk about the different nuances that come with it. And that panel is being led by Wendy Glendowski, who is also a very well-known entrepreneur and community member. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
And then you have more guest speakers. Take us through your list.
Yes, we do. So the morning, we start with Ricky Descharme. She is with Sage and Seven, and she does a grounding ceremony. And it'll help us get going. And then we'll have the panel, as we've already mentioned. And then we'll have a couple different speakers for our mini-series, what we call it. So we have, the first one will be with Corinne from Startup Lloydminster, and she'll be talking about how to get started. So you have this great idea for a business, now what? And she'll kind of lead us through that. Again, it's very short and sweet, to the point. We all got stuff to do, so bring your notepads, write it down, and off you go.
That's the best thing, is just take notes.
I think so. I'm a big note taker myself, and so that's what I would recommend for sure.
Okay.
And then after her, we have Kara Johnson from Alberta Innovates, and she will be talking about the ethos of support. And so it's more just like networking, which is important, but it's also about the government agencies that can actually help support you and help build your business to the next level. Lots of people don't even know how to take their idea to a business, and then their business to a corporation kind of thing. And so that will kind of help you go through that process. And then following her...
That's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
There's so many, like even myself, where I'm like, okay, well, this is semi-successful. I guess, do I just stay here?
Yeah, if you're not growing...
You're not growing, right? And so that'll help you.
If you're not growing, you're dying, is what they say, right?
Yeah. Because there's always new things that come up, and so she'll be a great resource for that. I'm very excited for her to join us.
Yeah, her and Crean will be perfect for that, yeah.
Next, following that, we have Michelle Hamilton. She is with Beyond Balance. It is going to be amazing. As we know, entrepreneurship is stressful, especially for women who disproportionately carry a lot of home chores and lead the homestead. So getting them into business doesn't necessarily mean that those just don't get done. It's more of a juggling act, and lots of men do it too, of course, but this will be
But I
a
think
great...
we think women. I think,
Yeah, disproportionately women do it. But regardless, the purpose of that is there's a lot of stress in any level of entrepreneurship. And especially I think COVID has really put a pressure on a lot of businesses where they maybe didn't succeed, right? Didn't live to the next day. So Michelle's going to talk about stress management and how to do it in a healthy way that's not like, consuming a glass or a bottle of wine a night.
Yeah, I don't think that we were talking to Jody and Sharon Herbis, and Jody was saying that from BioClean, and he was saying that, what COVID did is it really depleted a lot of cash that was, this
Your
is for the
reserve.
rainy day, and now I need to build up my reserve.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
You're finding that too when you talk to.
Yeah, with different businesses, like some did really well during COVID.
There was a few.
More often than not, they didn't, though.
Right.
And like you said, they depleted their reserves or had to scale down or what have you. And it seems like, from an outsider's perspective, to look at some of these challenges that came up, whether it was, letting go of staff or reducing salaries or going down to a 3-day work week or rotating shifts or whatever the business needed to do to stay alive. Like, a lot of them had to actually just close their doors, and they did delivery, or they were really creative, a lot of business entrepreneurs and business owners, and how they were able to just stay alive. But it is incredibly stressful to think that your business, the work that, for example, with Red Bicycle, the work I've done to get to Red Bicycle's level, people depend on me for their paychecks. And for me not to be able to guarantee that was very stressful and very scary. We were okay. We were very lucky in the sense that we were able to work from home, where lots of businesses, like, you can't do that. So I like to count ourselves as one of the lucky ones, but I think Michelle's about stress management and how there'll be great opportunities to relieve some of that stress in a healthy way that will help you and not ultimately deplete you. I think also, regardless of the level of business that people were in, or if they were just employees, there was a lot of alcohol and drug use that went up during that time. I had a friend who installed a shelf in her shower for her beer, and I was like, that's not healthy. That's too much.
Yeah, they have sticky things that work just as well.
Yeah, there's other options. But so I think that mentality of, like, our society depends a little bit upon a substance or two more often than not, and this will be a great way to help with that. But like I said, it's only 10 to 15 minutes. It's very short. It gets to the point.
Yeah, you better be paying attention.
Pay attention, yeah. And then following that, we'll have a little coffee break. We'll have Angela from the Lloydminster Interval Home Society come up and do a mini presentation. Very excited about that. I love that organization. It's very dear to my heart. I'm on the board for it, and so I just really think that's a great place. And regardless of me being on the board, I think it's a great organization to have in this community.
They have a big announcement tomorrow, by the way, too.
Huh.
Yeah, huge announcement coming from them.
I know nothing of this. And then we'll have her, and then we'll have Mindy come up and do her keynote presentation, and I am just very excited about it. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away on it. It will be amazing. Yeah. Get your tickets and just come.
When did you start planning this? Like, when did you say, you know what, I want to, like, I'm sure this has been in the back of your mind for a while, but what made you go, we're gonna pull the trigger, we're actually gonna do this?
Well, initially we were going to do it for International Women's Day, which is on March 8th, but so we had planned it in our brains in January, and we're like, we could do this. How hard could it be? A little bit harder than we thought, but regardless, everyone has come together so well for it, and I think we announced that this was happening on March 8th instead. It was just too much of a time crunch, and so then we decided to put it in June to coincide with the Chamber's awards opening, and yeah, I love it, and everyone that we've talked to, we're like, this is my idea. If we did it, would you want to be a part of it? And every single woman was like, yep, I'm in, sign me up, whatever you need. And so it's been very amazing that way.
Were you amazed at how much selection you had from Lloydminster? Like, oh, we could get this lady, we could get this lady, we could get this. Like, I don't think you're going to have too much trouble filling next year's panel.
Yeah, I don't want, like, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anything here, but no, there's a lot of truly inspiring people. And even it did not cross my mind for too long who could be involved. The hardest part for me was actually getting the keynote, because naturally I think that we're in Lloyd, we grew up here, we're familiar with it, so our brain just goes, well, let's get somebody from out of town, right? Like, let's get a big name or what have you. And it really isn't about that. And I loved that when I gave it some more thought, I approached Mindy and I was like, hey, you've casually told me your story. I think you would be amazing if you are comfortable to tell it to everybody else. And what a fantastic sport, because she's like, okay. And she did it. Well, she's about to, I guess. And she's given me like a couple drafts of her speech to review, just to make sure that, we're all on the same page and stuff. And it is amazing. Like, her story is so inspirational, I think. And so thinking about her having this story, living in Lloydminster, there are so many people who have a story to tell that they just don't, or they haven't yet. And so I think that finding a keynote for next year, my goal is to get somebody, again, local, who wants to share their story, because there are so many people who just live a life you don't really know about and have cause to inspire people through their messaging.
I think a lot of times, like, we take the local people for granted.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, oh, that's amazing, but you're in Lloyd, so how amazing could it be?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Or, I think it was Jerry Ritz who told me one time, he said there was a farmer in North Battleford who bought the same truck every 2 years. So he would buy the exact same truck in the exact same color to minimize how successful he had been on the farm, because sometimes we look at people who are successful and we're like, oh, well, look in Saskatchewan, I think we do that, where we look at somebody and go, oh, they don't need any extra help. Look at them go. Like, look at you got a brand new truck. Yeah. Where we're like, well, if I buy the same truck, maybe nobody will notice I'm actually doing well.
Yeah.
Like,
and people do, they hide it really
well. They hide
well.
it sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole concept of loud luxury versus quiet luxury, and even minimizing luxury at all, I think is really interesting and a topic for another day. But there are, but same mentality.
But there's
there are
people
a lot
that
of
are doing so well, you might not know they're doing that well.
Yeah.
They maybe don't flaunt it in front of you and stuff, but they're doing well, and you can learn from them.
That's just it, right? And it's not necessarily about when we think of like, oh, they're doing well as in terms of money in their pocket.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to just be that. I think that if anything, what we've learned, especially over the last couple of years, is that your health, your mental capacity, your mental health is so much more important than cash in the bank. Although, don't get me wrong, that is also important and it does help relieve a lot of stress. But just what you're able to do with your time and what you're able to do for the future. And so a lot of Lloyd is very generous and they give back into the community, and that is so fabulous because that's really what helps our entire community thrive. And I think that these women do a lot for our community beyond just opening a business and employing people, which is still fantastic on its own, but they also give back. And every one of them on this panel is very integrated. And I shouldn't just say panel, the whole, all the speakers that are attending are very integrated into the community. And I think that is a big part, too, of when people can be successful, is when they know you exist and know that you're there. And so the networking pieces, both before and after the event, will be critical, I think, because if you don't know me, you cannot shop at my store, you cannot acquire my services. So this will be a way in which people can show up and become top of mind and say, oh yeah, I do remember you, I met you at the panel, or it's nice to see you again at the conference, and build those business relationships, which is really important.
Well, and you mentioned maintaining staff. Like, to me, I think that's huge, is being able to maintain a staff that also gives back and supports the community as well.
Absolutely.
For tickets, how do you get tickets?
If you want tickets, get them now, because we are stopping sales on Friday, because we have to obviously know all of our numbers. So you can go to redbicycle.com/womeninbusiness, all one word. And we are selling them through Eventbrite. So if you want to just go on Eventbrite and look there too, and there's only a handful of tickets left. We sold out actually, and then we had so many people message and be like, I still want to come. Like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. We rearranged the room, we chatted with our team, and we're like, yeah, we can fit a couple more tables in. We'll just, and it's going to still not be squished, which I love. So we've got a couple more seats available. I think before I came on, there was 6 individual tickets left, and we're only having tables of 6. So if somebody really wants that as a table, just let me know, because there's a bit of cost savings if you buy a table versus individual. But yeah, that's it. 6 tickets left.
Good for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped.
You've been in business 10 years. You've been giving back to the community. This year, you're giving $10,000 back to the community. Mm-hmm. Jill, who's mentored you? Who do you look at and say, this person has really helped me along the way? A lot, honestly. I feel like the hard part with mentorship is there can be this mentality of it has to be somebody that you're going to be with for life. And like any relationship, you obviously go into it thinking that, but sometimes people come and go. And so my for life ones, whether they like it or not, for sure my dad, he's been in business for, I don't know, ever for me. And he owns Border City Concrete, and has been a big advocate of giving back into the community, and you support the community that supports you. And that's kind of where I got that mentality from. And as I grew in business, Wendy Plandowski has been a big help for me. And that's why I asked her if she would want to lead the panel discussion. And so I'm very honored that she said yes. There's just, I don't want to like name everybody and forget people, but there's been a lot. And it's even interesting because people always think that mentorship has to be somebody who, I guess is older than you, and that's not always the case either. I feel like I learn a lot from people who are in just different businesses than me and who have been in business maybe longer than me, maybe not as long as me. And so I think that the opportunity to connect with people on any level and just listen to them and learn from them is really what it's about. And I think that you will get a lot of that from this event. I think technology is changing so fast that that's where younger people really can help you out.
Yeah. Yeah, especially now you don't really need to know anybody to learn from them. Like you could find somebody on the internet that, I've never met them before, but I follow them on Instagram or TikTok and they're teaching me as I go, which is fabulous. But I do think that Lloyd is pretty unique. And navigating this market will be not as easy as just having a blanket strategy. It needs to be really tailored to Lloydminster.
What is it? What is so unique about Lloyd?
Well, I think just the connection, and people want to be around people, and people have that mentality. A lot of business owners have that mentality of, look, I need to be successful, obviously, to stay in business. But I also want to give back to my community, and I'm going to give back in ways in which matter to me, which is great. And if you can connect with people and learn from them about, we've kind of lived in a bit of a bubble for a while where the rest of the world might not be fabulous, but Lloyd has a little bit going on that we can encapsulate on. and even the different industries that we have and the different demographics that this community brings. And I don't know, I think it's so interesting how we could go to an event and you could have somebody in a ball gown right beside somebody in their Wrangler jeans and cowboy boots, and that's a-okay, right? Like it's not looked down one side or the other. It's, we're here together, let's chat, let's be best friends. And so I like that community mentality, and I like the sentiment that goes with it and the collaboration that goes with it. Are there other businesses that do what your business does? Absolutely. Are there other businesses that do what your business does the way that you do it? No. And so even if we have, on any level, competition, we never refer to them as that. We always just say, oh, we have other people in our industry, because they're not really competition. They're opportunities for us to collaborate and to build networks and community with. And so when you find people who have the same mentality of like, we're not here to tear each other down, we're here to build both of our businesses and our whole community up, that's Lloyd.
You know the first time I met your dad?
No, tell me.
Was when at Teddy Bear Toss at the Bobcats game.
Yeah.
Through the radio station, score the first goal, throw the teddy bears on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who is that guy? He's out here picking up teddy bears. He's picking up more than I am. Like he's rolling around. I had never met your dad before. I didn't know who he was at that point. And I thought it was pretty cool. Like, oh, that's a guy, and he's out here, you know. Because it's hard, like sometimes it's hard to find people who want to go out and collect those teddy bears because the ice is slippery. Everybody wants to throw the teddy bear, right?
No one wants to do the labor of picking him up.
But I was pretty impressed with that he was out there, because I mean he's been associated with that organization for many, many years prior to that as well. But
he's a big hockey advocate, which is interesting coming from a ref, because he's been a ref for a long time. And it's funny because my husband's dad was a hockey player and my dad is a ref, and we're like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna go.
But you talked a lot about mentorship. Now that's appropriate because you're up for a mentorship award. Tell us about that.
Yeah, which is super humbling and amazing. So we were nominated for this award through the Alberta Chamber of Commerce, and if you've ever done a nomination process, somebody nominates you, you can self-nominate, and then they message you and say, hey, you've been nominated for this. If you want to be considered for it, you have to fill out all this information. And so we were nominated for it, and we thought, what the heck? Why not? We'll fill it out. If anything, it'll just be a fun little copywriting exercise. And didn't think, I don't know, it's Alberta. There's a lot of businesses in the province of Alberta, and there's no way that we're going to be a finalist. So, but whatever, we'll just fill it out. What worst can happen is we're exactly where we were, so who cares? So we filled it out, and then I got an email, I want to say a month ago, maybe, from the Alberta Chamber that was like, hey, you're a finalist. And I was like, no, I read that wrong. And I started crying, and I screamed with excitement, and my staff came running in, and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. We were finalists for this award. Don't tell anybody because it comes out tomorrow. So we had to keep it quiet for 12 hours, which I didn't. I told people, but privately, voice to voice versus social media. So then we were nominated we're finalists for this award, one of 3 in the province of Alberta, which again, incredible. It's for mentorship, and it's for our work with inspiring women to get into business. And so we've been big advocates of women in business forever. As a woman in business myself, I know some of the struggles and the nuances that I've had to kind of navigate. And so I always like to help the next person, instead of being like, hey, don't trip over this. I'm like, I don't want to watch them trip over it. I'll tell them, hey, this is a little bit of a landmine here. You want to sidestep that, and then they'll get further quicker. And it all kind of came back to, like I said, we've always been big advocates for women in business. I was at a conference in 2020 for women in business, and the speaker had said something that kind of just rattled me, where 98% of all business in Canada is small business. Of that, women do not seem to be entering the business and entrepreneurial market to the same level as men. And I was like, oh, okay, like thinking in my head, what does that mean? Like we're 40% of this pie, or no. In 2020, we were 16% of businesses in Canada were female owned. And that kind of shocked me because I know so many amazing women in business, but I mean, my reality is not Canada's reality, of course. And I kind of just, I believe that everybody should, if everybody had an equal representation in our community, then our community would just be so much more diverse and so much more scalable, and we would have many more opportunities, and there's so much benefit to it. And I thought, well, what can I do to help that number rise? And so we started really putting in more effort to help women in business. A couple of the barriers to entry for women specifically are confidence in saying what you have is actually really good and just do it. And then support. And so the support of like, if your partner, if you have kids at home is a big factor, but also support in the community to say, okay, I have this idea, now what? And so that's why we brought in the speakers that we did. So getting started in business, how to do that. So anyone who is looking to be inspired or to want to say, okay, well, maybe this could be a path for me, just come. Like, worst case, you get mimosas and have a morning off. It'll be great. So regardless, it'll be fabulous. But yeah, so now in 2023, anyway, at the end of 2023, the number of small businesses owned by women in Canada is 17.7%, still lower than we want, but higher than it was before. And so I think that just shows that we're on the right path. Obviously, that's not all from our work, but we like to think that we've played a small part in that. And so that's where we want to go and help more women get into business, help our community grow, again, not just from the businesses themselves and from the employment, but also women tend to give back a lot more too. So, yeah.
So when do you find out if you're a winner, and do you find out ahead of time, or do you have to go to the awards to find out?
No, I'm pretty sure. This is my first time with the Alberta Chamber of Commerce. We've been nominated before, but I've never got to the finalist level. And it is on June 20th in Edmonton. And so I'm going there with my husband and some friends, and we're just going to have a good night and meet people and socialize. And I mean, if we come home with a trophy, amazing, but I don't want to like get my hopes up too much, because the other businesses that are nominated across every category, but the mentorship are really good. And so regardless of who wins the award, who is the recipient, I think the point is that these businesses are giving back to the community in a way that is standing out and is helping more than just that individual business. And so I love that mentality behind it.
Am I forgetting to ask you anything?
Oh, probably.
That would be me.
Yeah, no, this is fabulous. I think the event is great. Like I said, if you want to come, redbicycle.com/womeninbusiness. You can learn all about the event. You can buy your tickets there. It'll take you to Eventbrite, and get them before Friday, or before the end of day on Friday, because that's when ticket sales will cut off.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. We're going to be back with you again, as I mentioned, on Saturday, and we will be at Wellings of Lloydminster. We're also going to be talking to the Lloydminster Legion at Wellings of Lloydminster and finding out more about their programs and about their She Shed raffle. So we have the president and the vice president of the Lloydminster Legion will be joining us on Saturday morning, and we look forward to seeing you at Wellings.